Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning, and welcome to another episode of Caffeinated or Die. My name, of course, is Antoine the Great. It is early. I am not awake yet. Deal with it. I've been joined by my normal co-host, Sparky from Sparky's Tech Corner, and Antihero Broadcast from a very brand new up and growing channel. Go subscribe to Antihero Broadcast to make him do things. Good morning, gentlemen.
I need 4 more followers, and I've got ESB, Antoine.
On Twitter?
Yep.
I have 287, are you sure?
At 283.
Huh. Well, go follow Sparky on Twitter. He has to win at something.
I have 215.
Go follow Antihero Broadcast as well.
I'm not that far behind either of you.
It took me a long time to get where I'm at.
I watch you while you sleep, you know.
You're creepy, you know that.
I take notes on your actions. I watch the things you do. Soon I'll know about you to take you over. I will become you and then destroy your lives.
Raz says I have 18 followers. Suck it, bitches. Good morning, everyone.
Well, Raz, go tell Keen to help you out. Let's go at that shit.
So let's see who we have in the chat here. We got Sarah's in the chat, so she's not killing anyone right now. Raz is in the chat. Fermion, Jake Pearson. How's it going, everyone? Good morning. Sarah says she has 97 followers for some reason. Well, the reason why is because you have 2 very good points to talk about every single day. And they sit just below your chin, about a foot below your chin.
The dead air should speak volumes.
Yes.
I'm just... Nah.
Well, you gave Sparky something to do before we even went live, so...
What?
She carries around guns, Sparky. In shoulder holsters. Alright, so this is going wonderful. How did you guys' week go?
Well, I can sum my last 2 weeks up, actually. I can sum my last 2 weeks up like this.
21 gigawatts!
Really?
Yeah, really.
You have the fucking soundboard up? Do you always have it on?
Actually, I just happened to have it on. I left it on from last night.
God damn it.
No, I've been dealing with a truck last 2 weeks that got struck by lightning. And a brand new truck that's been struck by lightning. It only has like 5 miles on it. A brand new truck that my boss's boss's boss is using as a demo promotion truck for a fleet to get a contract for selling 6,000 more of these trucks that got struck by lightning. That should have been demoing for the company 5 days ago.
Oh, I don't think that's going to happen. Just a thought.
Oh, no, especially now after we found out we're going to have to change the dash harness. So I get to get the entire interior out of this truck. And then yesterday, a combination of 2 different things happened. I met the world's most autistic spug. Well, I guess saying world's most autistic spug is giving him a little too much credit.
You've already met one of those.
Yep. And I broke something at work.
What did you break?
Well, we were reassembling I was reassembling a truck that came in for an oil leaking in coolant. And he just got done at a Cummins dealership. And they put the wrong O-rings on the oil coolers. Well, after I got all tore apart, I had to tear all the way down for the oil system and clean it. So whenever I got all done, I reassembled everything. And going back to get up the oil bypass valve, I accidentally got the O-ring caught up in the threads of the cap. Bad thing about this cap, the cap's aluminum and the housing's aluminum. What ended up happening afterwards was I couldn't get the plug out. And then trying to remove it, the plug head split.
So what you're saying is that you broke a truck?
Yeah. And then afterwards, I had to split the plug inside the housing. And I finally got it split. And I got to look at it. I was like, it didn't look that bad. I actually saved the housing. Then I looked at the very top portion of the threads, and it took all the threads out of the top portion of it. And then it's like, fuck. So I get to take it all the way back apart Monday, and we get to try to find the housing. Yay me.
All right, then. Auntie, how was your week?
My week was, for the most part, uneventful. I did manage to finally secure an actual real-life job, which isn't good. Should be starting sometime this week, which is nice. I'm doing mostly dog care, which is great. I'm working with big dogs specifically.
Congratulations.
Well, thanks. I'm pretty excited just because I get to spend my day actually just playing with dogs, and I get paid for it, no less. I used to do that for free at my own house. So there's that. If there's anything else fun happening at all in my life, not really, no. So that's about it. Just chilling for the most part.
All right.
Just a chilling.
Well, Sparky, what else you said is you've met the world's biggest spurg?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you're not talking about Zell, but, you can never know.
No, I'm not talking about Zell.
How's it going, Squandered Gallantry?
No, I ended up posting a tweet yesterday on my Twitter, and it was a simple tweet. It was a picture of Mega Man from the Mega Man 2 weapon equipment screen saying, get equipped with useless person. And that's all it was. And I put a little tree outside of it. I didn't name anyone. It's just a simple little picture. Harmless picture. Simple, harmless tweet. And it triggered this guy enough to state, dehumanizing people is just the most disgusting thing in the world. And then me and him proceeded to go back and forth. And then after a couple of tweets, I blocked him because I already knew what he was. He was a troll. And then I got to looking later on, and he called me. He said he got blocked by a misogynist, a racist, white supremacist, hateful fucking person that doesn't want to see fucking viewpoints his way, blah this, blah that. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Fermion is asking if you're making friends again, Sparky.
Yeah, I'm making friends again. I wasn't even trying to. I do have to thank, I want to thank John Doe and Grim Brooding because they jumped in and kind of helped me take out the guy. It's like, I said what I had said, and I guess they laid into him having fun with it.
I'm pretty sure he's still arguing with you and them, though.
I've got the conversation muted, so
I don't think that that anyone's beaten him, quote unquote. In fact, it seems like, because I've looked at the Twitter page, or his Twitter feed, and it looks like he's completely incapable of knowing that he's beaten in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I know.
Which is the worst kind of individual. Like, you keep calling him a troll, but every word that comes out of this thing's mouth looks more and more like he's some sort of crazed true believer instead.
Well, I deal with true believers. I deal with weird true believers. I'm dealing with one right now. I don't know if you know who they are because you guys don't deal with the IDL. I do. Her name is Tess. She is a true believer. She's a vicious, evil, vile true believer. And one of the worst people I've ever met. So,
Tess.
Yes, taste.
Okay.
But before we go any further, Etienne has been spamming something in the chat, which is fine. Why don't you give us a rundown of what that is?
All right, so one of my best friends, like in real life, I've known her for quite a few years now. Her name is Sam. She just opened up an Etsy shop for drawing and art and whatnot. Sam is a phenomenal artist. She does very good. Right now, she's focusing for her shop. She's focusing more on chibi type stuff, chibi and anime. But she's also extremely capable of doing photorealism. She can do all kinds of different things. You really should give her a quick look. Right now, her commissions are wide open because she just started. So I've got her Twitter. I'm putting into the chat. I'm putting her her actual Etsy shop link into the chat. So go talk to her. Go see what she does. She tries to do streaming, like art streams, every couple days. So chances are, if you follow her on her Twitter, which is @CuteCalamities, you'll be able to see when she's going to be doing her next art stream, and you'll be able to jump in and see what she's capable of. Again, she's very good. She's definitely worth it. If you got a couple of bucks to throw her way, give her a talk, give her a yell. She can especially do good on things like avatars and whatnot if you're looking for some sort of decent avatar art. So yeah, give her a shot, and I'll keep spamming the link.
Yeah, is this the same one you call Samaface?
That's the Samaface. Yep, that's the Samaface.
I looked at some of the stuff she's done, and it actually looks pretty cool.
She's good, and especially if you're looking for something, if you're looking for cute, edgy kind of things, which is what she's working on mostly right now, that she's great. But again, she also does photorealism. I wish she'd actually posted more of the things she's done. She has done some incredible pictures of people like Benedict Cumberbatch, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, almost the entirety of the cast from The Hobbit. She's very good. Actually, I was actually there when it happened. We went to one of the major conventions about 2 years ago together, and she went to get Markiplier's autograph because Markiplier was there, and she went to get Jack's autograph because Jacksepticeye was there, and she brought with them to the pictures she had done of them, photorealistic. And Mark actually tried to sign his, thinking that she wanted an autograph on it when she was actually giving it to him because he thought it was an actual photo. That's how good she is when it comes to photorealism.
Damn.
She's very, very, very good at that. She's very good at chibi type stuff. Like I said, I'm going to keep spamming her links in the chat. Go ahead and give her a look. See what you can do. Talk with her. She's just starting out. So, like I said, give her a look. Give her some shilling. I'm going to see if I can't con everybody I know into getting avatar artwork from her. I mean, talk everyone into getting avatar artwork from her. And hopefully she'll become more than just somebody trying. I want to see her succeed. That's all. I'm good.
Well, I'll definitely check her out. I mean,
you need a chibi version of yourself.
Well, everyone needs a chibi version of themselves,
and you need to use it as your avatar and try to have a serious conversation with it. You need to do a Sandman response video with a chibi version of you, Antoine.
Oh.
Well, something interesting actually happened on my channel this last week on Mechanic Tuesdays. I actually got my first Streamlabs, which blew me out of the fucking water.
Well, congratulations. You finally popped that cherry.
Yeah, I got $50 from Ben.
Congrats, Sparky. You're finally worth something.
Yep, and I split it 20-20-10 between me, KG, and Solwyn.
You're finally worth something.
That was nice of you. I mean, you don't.
Well, it was only fair.
You don't necessarily have to pay your co-host. I mean, it is your channel.
I mean, nobody pays me.
I paid you.
When?
When you had MSNBC, and we got
paid me $1 when I demanded it.
Yes, because you were a guest co-host.
You paid me $1 when yes, he bought me the song I wanted.
But didn't he fire you?
I fired him and then basically immediately rehired him.
I have been officially fired from Army of Snarkness. I was publicly fired without my knowledge ahead of time. I'm still very upset about this. I have not yet received a formal public rehiring. I know that Antoine's going to say, no, I totally rehired you. You did it very quickly in all in one breath. No one even noticed it. All they saw was that I was fired publicly for reasons that are unexplainable at this point in time.
How could you, Antoine?
I mean, this is just indicative of Antoine's greater goal.
Were you watching MSNBC, Sparky? Oh no, I'm sorry. We took your time slot. That's why you weren't watching. Shut up.
Wow. So not only does he publicly fire his co-host without warning, he also just steals entire time slots from those people he supposedly values. This is just awful. You know, when Hillary Clinton said deplorables, what she really meant was Antoine.
Thank you. I was trying to get on her radar while I was doing all that. Like, I shouted out, Pepe when she was during her speech. And you know what? Believe it or not, someone else got attributed to it. And then Pepe the Frog became a hate symbol. I was trying so hard to do it, and it didn't work.
I just want to point out that when it comes to Miss Clinton, I am 100% a supporter. I have never said anything bad about her whatsoever, and at no point in my life have I ever, nor will I ever, feel suicidal. I just want to throw that out there.
I'm glad you support Hillary.
Yep, totally. As everyone who doesn't want to die prematurely should. Not that I'm saying that Hillary Clinton kills people. I'm not saying that at all. Those words never came out of my mouth.
And here,
yes,
there's a red dot on your forehead.
I know. It's always there these days.
Why are you drawing ire from the progressives? What did you do?
Oh, I'm doing many things. It's the normal day-to-day for me.
All right. I mean, you help dogs now, so they should be happy. You are differently abled.
I only help white dogs. It's a problem.
Only white dogs. That would be why they're upset with you.
Yep.
You are not helping trans dogs of color.
I don't help dogs of color at all. It's awful.
And this just in, a weekly update that we all knew was going to happen. Fermion is now donating plasma.
I mean, it happens every Sunday.
Sarah brings up a good point. I am pretty comfortable with the red dot. Unlike Catwan, who when he sees a red dot just goes crazy.
That's not a thing.
What, the red dot or Catwan?
Both.
Because Catwan's a thing every single time you try to change it back.
No, it's not.
Speaking of which, somebody fucked with my shit. I gotta fix that.
Are you talking about me changing my name back?
Oh no, I'm not worried about that, Sparky. Oh, I see what you did. You'll pay for that.
Did you take away his name changing abilities, Antoine?
I did.
He didn't take away my name changing abilities. He took away my role changing abilities, which he will pay for.
You can change all of the nicknames all you want.
I have been.
I noticed. Gen Z is now Cat Z.
Killer Groove is now Cat Groove.
Yes.
James Jones is Cat Jones. So two people I've seen come up in the chat haven't seen for a while. Jay Phobic Casual, how you doing? Ruby Hardy's in the chat, and Jack Pearson. Hello, guys.
Jake Pearson.
Jack Pearson. Jake, Jack, potato, tomato, potato.
It is his name. You might want to get it right. Whoever changed my name to Catmion and not Fermion, you missed a shot. So.
Oh no, I didn't miss anything. The word that we're using is cat to reference Catwan, not felinoid things, just Catwan.
Why do you want to link to the stream, DK?
How about Count Me On?
Catmion, son. That's what the name was changed to, is Catmion. At least I believe it was.
Meown. Ugh. You and your damn cats.
It's not my fault. I didn't do it.
You're the crazy cat
disturbing.
lady of Discord now.
No, I want everyone to know this is entirely Antoine's fault.
How is it? How is it my fault?
You publicly fired me. I told you you would pay. This is you paying.
Yes, but you're still here.
That doesn't mean anything. This is a different show.
Just
Nope. Just stop now. I have a chance.
Anyways, how was your week, Antoine?
My week was all right. A little bit frustrating. Having everything changed on my Discord, the cats, changing it back, and then having it changed again.
Well, perhaps if you weren't so incredibly rude to your hosts, this wouldn't happen.
You are still a host, and I rehired you.
You say that, but no one actually knows that I was rehired, only that I was fired.
That's because you keep bringing up the fact that you were fired. You're doing the same thing that media does. You're focusing on the negative and ignoring the positive.
Well, duh, there is no positive here. You're just being mean.
You got rehired.
Did I?
Yes.
Did
In the same stream, yes.
No one seems to know that.
Because you keep telling everyone that you got fired.
Even
Fermion didn't even know you were fired.
Fermion is constantly in a state of blood loss. Like he really counts.
As Sarah says that Antoine is delightful to Vin and I.
Because the two of you have breasts.
I like Moxley as well.
Because you like your breasts.
It's because you like horsecock.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Wow.
He went there.
Really, Sparky?
There was no hesitation when he called you a lover of horse schlong.
He did.
Zero hesitation whatsoever. He just jumped right into that. He was like, hey, Antoine, you like horse dick. And that was how that went. Like, yeah, see, look, Dragon's Roar's like he was rehired. Yeah, fucking nobody knows that I was rehired.
Because
I'm giving this straight
Dragon's Roar doesn't watch the streams. This is the second stream he's ever been in.
Razril Takata, or should we say Catril Takata, so shots fired. The only shots getting fired around here are Antoine when he takes that horse shot to the face.
Damn.
Time to hashtag play dick yet again. It just goes squish. It just goes squish. Vin V's in the chat. He says, good morning, crew.
How's it going, Vin?
Morning, Vin.
Good morning, Vin. How are your edges today? Edgy?
All right, so let's do what this show is meant to do, shall we?
Make fun of you?
Cry?
Let's talk about some news.
Nudes? I'm okay with that. Whose nudes are we talking about?
Vin says sharp as ever.
I'm going to time out Jake Pearson. For his incredibly awful words that he just said.
No. No, why did you do that?
He said exterminate all cat girls. I don't play.
Jake, I apologize. It shouldn't have happened. Antihero has a thing for cat girls.
The weakness.
He's a furry. It's all right.
We
don't hold it against him.
You know what? There's a big difference between the two, and I'm going to demonstrate right now. Because this is an outrage. You would confuse the two of them like that. I am extremely upset with you right now.
Well, while you're being extremely upset with me, let's talk about this, shall we? Two elderly men sneak out of a nursing home to attend a heavy metal festival.
Whackin'.
Rock on!
So, you're never too old to rock on. Two elderly men managed to slip away from their nursing home in Germany to attend the Wacken Open Air, the largest heavy metal festival in the world, over the weekend, authorities said. According to Itzehoe police, the pair was eventually found Friday at 3 a.m. local time at the festival after their retirement home in Dürth, German word, reported them missing. Police told the Deutsche Welle the men were found disorientated and dazed. The metalheads were apparently reluctant to leave the 4-day festival in Wacken. They had to be escorted home with a taxi and a patrol car as precaution, said police. Festival organizers didn't specifically address the seniors daredevils, but their official Twitter account made sure to give a shout out to elderly fans because you're never too old to rock on. And that is a granny doing the heavy metal symbol. That's actually pretty awesome. I can't fault them for wanting to go to a festival. According to Dutch Well, the world-renowned festival sold out with an expected attendance of 75,000 people. Headline acts including Danzig, Judas Priest, Hatbreed, and In Flames. The Wacken Open Air Festival in northern Germany began in 1990.
Walk it out, Rain.
All right, we have a $10 from Ben Cooper. Hashtag antihero, please fire Antoine.
Don't worry, I'll take care of that shit. If you guys want him fired, I'll talk with the other representatives of the group, and we will make a board decision to make care of that happen.
There is no other board. There's no board.
For $10, I'd kill you.
Ouch. That's all I'm worth to you is $10.
$10 is a lot of money. See how much ramen I could buy for $10?
Like 300 packages of ramen.
Exactly. That's a lot of goddamn money.
All right, I see a point. But still, that's kind of.
If we could bear in for a brief second, I'm going to go ahead and screen share here.
All right.
Application window right here. We're going to share over here, so everyone can see this image, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. This is a cat girl. Note the ears and the tail. See?
Yes.
And that's the only thing about it. Now we're going to go to this one. This is a furry. Also this. Note the difference. Note how this is just an animal with human bits. See the difference there?
Anthropomorphic animal.
With some animal bits. Furry is an animal with human bits. Note the difference.
So what you're talking about is the fact that she is still a cat. So you're talking about different levels of being a furry.
I don't think this is a cat right here, Antoine. Are we looking at the same thing? You're the one. Okay, hold up. Before we go any further, I want the chat and anyone who watches this later to know that the person who's trying so hard and failing miserably to call me a furry is the same exact person who happens to think that octopus porn is cool.
Hentai.
No.
I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. Everyone's got their thing.
We know what you're implying here, sir. We know what you're implying.
See, Scott No Problem says that they both have ears and tails. Dragons Roar gave us $1. Thank you.
Just out of nowhere, just $1.
Just $1. I appreciate that, DJ.
It's probably going, damn it, I didn't put the comment in.
To be perfectly honest, I have zero problem with the overall concept of the furry community. If that's your thing, that's your thing. One of my very best friends for a long time, all she was into was furry, and so when I drew for her, which was frequently, that's all I drew, because that's all she wanted.
See, I have to agree with Draconath. Cat girls plus tentacles is best.
But I don't agree with a lot of the really awful things that some of the people in the furry community seem to think is totally okay.
I agree with that.
I will never refer to myself as a furry, though, also because I don't really have a vested interest in furry. I mean, I'm sure it's got its charm, but if you're a scaly, you're still a furry. I mean, scaly is just a subculture of furry. And let's be realistic here. It's like if you're an avian, you're still just a subculture of the furry culture overall. But again, I really don't care what you do as long as it's not on my couch.
I don't have a problem with furries. I'm with you on that. I have a problem with some of the things that they do and some of the things that they say. What's his name? Kiro? That motherfucker that
Scott No Problem says my friend is into vor furry porn.
See,
look,
now they have issues.
Furry porn, okay, fine. That's your thing, that's your thing. But the vor part, yeah, I'm not down for that in any of its horrific forms.
Yeah,
should we say vorific forms? I don't know.
I've seen
but bump.
Whenever I was doing the Alex Mauer events about a year and a half ago, there was a YouTuber that got struck by her. And I got to watch it on the YouTubers that got struck by her, and he was playing a game that was very. It's like, the fuck is this?
Wait, Vin, are you sure this isn't an Onion article or something? Vin says, hey, Elon Musk is the guy who sent the car into space. He says he actually wants to genetically engineer cat girls. Is this a thing? If this is a thing, I'm all for it.
I mean, I'm totally okay with that. And I think that Sarah should become the first one.
I agree. Sarah, you need to become the very first cat girl. I think you would look adorable.
I think that once she did that, she'd just leave you.
Yeah. Hey, Antoine.
She'd quit this show entirely.
Why?
She'd because she'd have nothing but fame and then of adoring fanboys. She wouldn't need AOS anymore.
Yeah, Antoine, you got a red dot on your forehead.
Of course you do, Sarah.
Why would she leave me?
Because she'd have a legion of adoring fanboys.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
I mean, why would she need your show anymore?
I mean, she'd just have her own, and she would be like, she would just have to be on camera and get millions and millions of subscribers.
Actually, she could probably do that right now as a fake girl, frankly.
That's probably true. She has to wear more revealing clothing, though, and you know, Sarah, she doesn't like doing that.
Well, look, all of us could wear more revealing clothing and get more things. I mean, I could just walk around in a bikini all day, and I'd probably get tons of views.
Please don't ever do that.
I'm pretty sure we get a lot of views if I did that.
I don't want to see that.
A 1 in the chat if you think me in a bikini would get way more views. Let's go ahead and see it. You don't count, Antoine. You don't count. Fun fact, you never have. Oh, the deep sadness. There we go. There's one in the chat. It's the only one I needed. There's 2 1s, 3 1s.
Yes, and more 2s.
I ignore the 2s. You've already accused me of being the media and ignoring things I don't want to see. I'm doing that hardcore now.
Oh boy.
Oh, well, apparently you have a fan in Jake because he wants to see it as well.
Even though you did put him in timeout.
He stopped talking about exterminating cat girls, so he's okay now.
All right, let's see. How about you want to read the next story?
What's the next story?
Student may have handed out cookies made with grandparents' ashes.
Oh. That's not nearly as amusing as it could be, but all right. Student may have handed out cookies made with grandparents' ashes. In Davis, California, police are investigating the possibility that a high school student made cookies mixed with human remains and gave them to unknowing classmates to eat, CBS Sacramento reports. Several students ate the cookies at Da Vinci High School that police suspect may have included the ashes of one of the students' grandparents. There have been plenty of cases of students bringing pot-laced cookies to school, but cremated cookies is a new one. Police say the cookies in question are cookies the student brought to campus handed out to at least 9 students. Davis Police Lieutenant Paul Doroshoff says he's never come across a case like this. No, this is a weird one, he said. I have not heard of anyone getting sick or anyone being harmed as far as physiologically by this, he said. And I have to wait for Antoine to scroll up because he's slow. Police are working to confirm that 2 high school students are part of the morbid plan. Once that happens, they'll have to decide what charges to bring. This is so unconventional. It would take more research, Doroshoff said. He issued a statement saying it couldn't comment on confidential student matters, but the investigation is ongoing. This case has been particularly challenging. We responded appropriately in the most respectful and dignified way possible, the statement said in part. So far, the evidence comes from student testimony. The cookies haven't been tested yet.
So what would they charge them with?
Well, that's possibly something like desecration of a body, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of cannibalism law they could invoke somewhere. I do think it's interesting. Like, I'd like to know what their thought was. I'd like to know exactly why they decided to do that.
Yes, I would like to know why too. It's I mean, I don't think you can get sick from something that's been burned to ash.
It's not so much sickness. I wonder what their psychological reason was. They just want to see that people would realize they were eating dead people, or do they want the grandfather to live on forever in the bodies of multiple other people, like some sort of ancestor worship thing. I mean, there's quite a few smaller scale cultures that believed in you eat the bodies of the dead in order to have them live on forever.
What kind of reminds me of an episode of Rescue Me, the last episode.
I think you're the only one who watches Rescue Me. Still.
I watched it a long time ago.
All right. Well, are you going to
explain?
Are you going to extrapolate on that idea?
Okay. All right. The last episode, one of the firefighters, one of the main crew died, and it was the last episode. And they cremated him, and they were gonna spread his ashes on up here in New York City. And on the way there, I guess it follows a group of firefighters, and there's like 4 or 5 of them in the car, and they got to arguing about something, and then something happened, and then the urn that had the ashes of the friend spilled and went everywhere. It was funny. So in order to complete the scene, they actually went to go to the store and bought cake mix and put cake mix in the urn.
So they spilled the ashes everywhere, and instead of trying to pick it back up...
Oh, no. It spilled the ashes everywhere on somebody else, and it got everywhere. And it ended with him butt-ass naked trying to get the fucking ashes out of every fucking crack and crevice of his body, and a police car pulls up with him over an urn trying to shake the fucking ashes off of him. Butt-ass naked.
Sparky.
It's a funny show. It's what?
And I understand you're a volunteer firefighter. Do you have to watch gay firefighter porn? I mean, is this the thing that you have to do?
It's not gay firefighter porn.
Not a have to. It's encouraged, but if you don't, you don't. Sparky likes to go with the flow, though. The manly.
Oh, all right. I mean, if that's your thing, Sparky, I mean, killing jokes and gay firefighter porn. All right.
I control my hose.
I did not know you were into these things when I hired you for this show. I may have to read.
Fire blazing in my back door. You're going to have to put it out. Look at that. He's got an extra long fire hose. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Ring my bell, baby. Ring my fire bell. Man, it's such a tight passage. I'm going to have to get my fire axe and chop it open. Oh, yeah. Slide down that pole. Is the joke dead yet?
Yes, the joke is dead.
Thank God.
Thank you for killing it.
Thank God. I was trying
to
murder it.
I found the scene. It's in the fucking comments.
No one wants to see gay porn. What the fuck?
It's not gay porn.
Hey, Razro. Razro says, I need adult. Obviously, my only response has, I am an adult. Kill it more? Well, Fermion, since you asked, one day I came home to the hideout. I had a really long day. I was tired. I walk into the broadcasting booth, and what do I see but Sparky down on his knees, just feverishly sucking on Antoine's cock.
Why are we doing this again?
I mean, vigorously. Like,
why? Why are you bringing this up again? It's not the things that happened.
No one wants to see gay Antoine porn. Joke's dead for good. All right, we're good. Joke's dead for good.
All right. He wants to see. I mean, yes, we can. You guys can't hear it, but I'll play it. That's Sparky. Sparky. What the Sparky?
Hey, it went exactly how I told you it was gonna go.
I actually watched that.
I'm not the one who forced you to.
All right, let's get on with the show, shall we? Since I just had to watch something I don't want to ever see again.
Hey, Rescue Me is a highly entertaining series. Dennis Lowe is actually a really good actor in that show.
Dennis Leary is an amazing actor. He's an even better comedian.
Oh, trust me, he shines in that show.
Yes, I agree with Fermion. You may have some explaining to do about your free time, Sparky.
Why?
All right. 6-year-old spends $350 on toys using mom's Amazon account. Now she's paying it forward. This should be interesting.
No, look at that face. Look at that crossed arms. Like, they don't want to give away the toys.
I bought these. These are mine. You can't take them from me. Meanwhile, her mother's making her pay it forward. A Utah girl's sneaky shopping spree is gaining widespread attention online after her cousin shared the story on Twitter. Ria tweeted a photo of her 6-year-old cousin, Caitlin, standing on the sidewalk with several Amazon boxes that were just dropped off by a delivery man. Caitlin looked very pleased with the huge delivery, but her parents were not. My badass little cousin ordered $300 worth of toys without my aunt and uncle knowing. This is a picture of how everyone found out, Ria wrote on Twitter. In the photo, Caitlin's mom has her back turned on the camera, but one could imagine the look on her face. Caitlin logged into her mom's Amazon account and had her pick of all the toys she wanted.
Probably Christmas.
They just started unloading box after box after box, Dalu told BuzzFeed News after her photo went viral on Twitter. The stack of boxes in the photo is just as tall as the 6-year-old. Ria also shared the photo of the smug 6-year-old posing with the delivery man. Smug. All of the smug on this child's face. Her mom went on her Amazon account and saw 3 pages of things she had ordered. 3 pages! Jesus Christ. Turns out Caitlin's order cost more than Ria originally thought. She spent $350 on toys and games, BuzzFeed reports. She knew exactly what she was doing when she did it, Ria said. I was so surprised that a 6-year-old knew how to do one-click next-day shipping. Oh, and made her mother pay for it next-day shipping as well. That's messed up. Ria's photo of her proud cousin standing with a stack of Amazon boxes has received a plethora of comments from people. Some people are amused, while others commiserated with Caitlin's mom. Look at that. Look at that face. That face is, I know your password.
Oh, no, never mind.
BB Bluff says, when my son did it, they offered to extend my Prime membership for an additional 3 months for free. He ordered $473 worth of toys and a white comforter. All right. The cereal shopper won't get to keep all of the toys she ordered. Of course not. Her mom is only letting her hold on to one Barbie instead of punishing the shopaholic, because that's, what you should do. Her parents had her donate the toys to a local children's hospital. Her cousin wrote on Twitter Tuesday, "That's fine. She donated the toys. That's great. You still punish the child." She wanted to give a little joy to those who aren't well, Rhea wrote, sharing 2 photos of Caitlin giving toys to the same hospital she was born in. Like the first photos Rhea posted, Caitlin looks proud standing next to her stack of toys. This time, however, she was happy about what she was giving to those in need. Well, that's a good idea. I mean, that was sweet. On in-game gems? Yeah, at least she got to keep one. Nothing to add, Sparky. Did you do this? You do this to your parents?
No. that was a thing when I was a kid. Of course, we didn't have a computer in the house until I was like 12.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. I didn't get on the internet till I was in high school. Ugh, God, it's early.
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah, I know it's Sunday. Scott No Problem says, my ex's brother spent $700 on in-game gems. For what game?
And
was it
why?
Hey, most of the time games like that, you can just farm them. $700 is a bit much.
Don't tell me it was CSGO. A Facebook game. Really? Somebody will waste money on a Facebook game.
It was Farmville, wasn't it? It was Farmville.
I can't say that because I have spent around $20, $30 on games like Jurassic Park Builder and when it was out, Mafia Wars.
Oh God, Mafia Wars. I played that a long ass time ago. Also played Vampire Wars.
Yeah, I played it a long time with all my friends at the fire department. And he got to the point he got bored with it because he had like $5 billion fucking dollars and fucking money in the game, and it's like, why?
It's just a time waster, and the game never had any purpose. They just keep adding things. Like I play a free game on PlayStation. It's called Gems of War. It's a Bejeweled ripoff, basically. There's a little bit added to it. And it's got a fantasy base around it where you can collect troops that are fantasy-based creatures, and they do damage, and they have spells and things like that. It's all based off of matching gems and things like that. It's free to play. You can play and get whatever you want because you can earn the in-game gold, or you can spend it on gems. Well, I joined a guild where gems are apparently plentiful, so I've never had to actually really buy gems.
I never got into games like that. Nah, I was into Angry Birds for a long time. That was about it.
I have a confession to make.
You're actually an internet troll and you're just doing this for the fun of it?
Well, yes, I am an internet troll, but no, I was looking something up to see if it still functioned, and it does. So I feel I need to confess something. I'm gonna go ahead and screen share again, and for those of you who don't know what this is
Adventure Quest,
and my character is level 70. I haven't played in quite some time, but my character is also what's called an ex-guardian, meaning I have spent money on multiple occasions to be as badass as I possibly can in this game. I haven't played in apparently 594 days, but I still know my password and my account name. This is also a brand computer I've never used on, which tells you I actually remembered all of that shit.
I remember playing that game for like 2 days.
I want to point out that I have a race and a class. I don't have a clan because I hated the clans. Note that my race is human werewolf, which means I had to fucking try. I'm wearing Ultra Guardian plate and I have Ultra Guardian weaponry, which means, again, I really had to do things. I have, unfortunately, done a lot of dumb shit on this game. And now that I remember everything for it, I'm probably going to start playing again.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I felt I should confess my sins. Oh, yeah. Yeknomono is like, nerd. Yeah, that's true.
You know, I played on Gaia Online. So I can.
If we're going to be talking about our Gaia Online past, I spent probably a number of years there in the forums doing role playing and whatnot.
I did too.
Yeah, but I was actually good at it.
Oh, Bon.
You don't even know what I was doing.
Was it like really awful erotica? Because I bet it was really awful erotica.
No, it wasn't really awful erotica.
Can I get a 1 in the chat for everyone who thinks all Antoine did on Gaia Online was awful erotica?
Well, I have something to say. We have 17 people watching and 6 likes. Come on, guys, hit the like button for us.
Yeah, hell, hit the dislike button. I mean, the ratio, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's interaction. Wow, we're getting a lot of 1s in the chat. Damn. They have no faith in you, Antoine. Oh my god! All you did was shitty erotica. That's it.
It's not what I did.
All you did was erotica that the fucking chick who wrote 50 Shades of Grey would have been proud of. That's all you fucking did.
Oh, wow.
Ruby Hardy would like to say something. Well, of course you can. I won't time you out unless it's exterminate the cat girls.
You're not getting an invite link.
Who is Dragon's Roar? Why does
It's
he?
DK.
Why would I give him an invite link?
I don't know.
He's a troll and not even a fun kind. He's just obnoxious.
Didn't you, DK, and fuck, what was her name? I can't remember her name. Can't remember her fucking name, but didn't you two do kind of like a collab for the Ugandan Knuckles deal?
No. I don't do Ugandan Knuckles.
I can't remember who it was.
I think it was a stupid ass meme that needed to die faster than it was allowed to.
I can't remember what it was. It was, oh god, it was a long time ago when I seen it.
Ugandan Knuckles is retarded.
Yeah. Probably your son.
I'm trying to understand why I'm just getting shade thrown at me by the robot. Antihero, does Shade know he's being tossed at me by a robot? I'm sure he's a little pissed off about that.
When will you realize just how incredibly bad that joke is?
I don't care. You're the one who named the character.
It's not even a good joke.
I think it's funny. That's all I care. That's what I care about.
Like, it's a really bad joke.
Meh.
Dragon's War, Ugandan Knuckles, Antoine Drawing coming up.
What is Pop Tropica? What is Pop Tropica? I have to look this up now. Pop Tropica. Oh, well, okay, that came up really quickly. It is still active. This is what it is.
The fuck is that?
I don't know.
Who are we talking to?
Ruby. She says that she only played this. one of the members' gifts is toilet paper. All right.
That is a weird online game.
She said it's a free-to-play game that is amazing. All right, I will take your word for it. But yes,
Never heard of it till now.
Yeah, same here. Going back to Gaia, that's actually where I met my ex-girlfriend. So
Explains everything.
It explains nothing. You're a fool who deserves nothing but pain and suffering.
Pitiful.
Space Gunblade.
What?
The Darkseeker's sidekick. This Space Gunblade is the perfect thing for taking out space vampires and space lichens. Or, normal ones, because it also functions as a normal gunblade.
are you playing that game?
I am totally playing Adventure Quest as we speak.
Wow. We will. Let's go with this last article, and I'll let you get your game.
You thought I wouldn't do this.
Oh god, I remember playing the old Toonami games back when I was a kid in high school.
Oh, that's way back in the day.
Yeah, when like Gundam Marine and all those other ones were out there. It's like, oh god, that was old.
And now for something completely different. Yes, Australian wild pig drinks 18 beers and gets in a fight with a cow.
The pig probably won.
That's a headline. How's it going, Jacob? A feral pig ransacked a campsite and drank at least 18 cans of beer before getting into an altercation with a cow in Australia. The incident, which happened in a remote area of Western Australia at the De Grey River rest area, prompted officials to warn campers to keep their food and alcohol secure. The wild pig was seen around the campsite for several days last week, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC, reported, citing officials who said the animal got into multiple six-packs of beer over the course of a few days.
How the hell did the pig drink them?
I don't know, but apparently this pig went on a fucking bender. Fiona Findlay from the Government Highway Division Main Roads told ABC that the people camping overnight at the rest area said that the pigs stole their beers, drank them, and then afterwards proceeded to tear apart the bin liners. We just want to remind everyone, when you do pull over, make sure your food and alcohol is securely stored, because there are a lot of animals out there that are keen for the free feed. Apparently this one just wanted to get a little hammered.
Just a little.
Just a little. One camper who reportedly spoke with the affected campers told ABC that the pig got into 18 beers, ransacked a campsite's garbage bins, and got into a fight with a cow. The camper, who was only identified as Merida, said there were some other people camped right on the river, and they saw him running around their vehicle being chased by a cow. It was going around, and then it went into the river and swam across to the middle of the river. Findlay told ABC that her crews are not equipped to deal with the wild pigs, especially if they are drunk. The pig was last seen lying beneath a tree, potentially nursing a hangover. In the remote regions of Western Australia, feral pigs are seen as invasive pests because of the diseases they carry, which can infect livestock. And then an update to this is the boorish boar has been killed. So he got drunk, got into a fight with a cow, ran into the river, and decided to pass out and killed him.
They just want to have some fun. Wow. It still makes me wonder, how the fuck they drink the beers?
He just opened up the can. No, I don't mean like he popped the top. He just probably bit into the can. Yes.
I could just imagine that.
I agree with Ruby. Australian news is like the Florida man's nose. Glorious. And Onvir. How's it going, Onvir? He says, it died like it lived. Drunk.
Oh, there is something we could talk about
Oh, what's that?
that dealt with Florida.
What?
The supposed bomber was caught, or the mail bomber sending the bombs to the Democrats.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on a news report the other day. Yesterday,
Yeah.
actually.
He was apparently he's a Native American in Florida.
So he's on meth.
Supposedly, I guess. If you look at his van, it almost looks like it could be mistaken for a pedo's van, but it just plastered with all sorts of fucking pictures and shit like that. You know, like targets and X's through all the Democrats and all that other good shit. It's like, it just seems a little too extreme for me. Nothing to add to that.
I didn't know what happened. So, I mean,
Well,
I heard...
hang on. I completely forgot about it. Let me find the article. Just give me a couple minutes. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I did have something interesting happen on Twitter. I follow Brianna Wu because she's crazy and it makes things fun. So she decided she was going to make a tweet. She does this a lot. She gets on her high horse. She thinks that she's going to make a woke statement, and it ends up being just stupid. So she says, "It's a public service to block troll accounts with the right-wing talking points." Now, she doesn't say alt-right. She doesn't say extreme alt-right. She just says right-wing talking points. I have a problem with that. A, they are generally bots, not people. B, if they are people, it's usually one of dozens of accounts. C, they are not acting in good faith. And D, the block will help Twitter hide that content from others. So, I have an issue with it. Basically, she's saying that it's okay to block people that do not agree with you. It's okay to block people that don't see ideologically with you. This is why we have such a divide between progressives and conservatives in this country. Because they're being it's being promoted that it's okay to basically ignore the other person.
Well, if you're
Hold on just a second. $10 from Ben Cooper. Do you think he was trying to send a package to Elizabeth Warren and couldn't figure out where she is?
Actually, I think he did.
Well, I mean,
There's several people he sent packages to. But on that note with Brianna Rue, I disagree. I agree and disagree to a point. The way I see it is if you're just standing by your own beliefs and not trying to spread them or make other people listen to you or change their beliefs, you have every right to listen or not listen to someone, but that's up to the person. So, like for me, I have my own policies, my own ideas, my own ideologies, my own viewpoints. I don't have to listen to someone else if I don't want to. That's up to me. Now, if it was something that I was trying to share my viewpoint with others and trying to get other people to see that viewpoint, then everyone has every right to scrutinize, criticize, and try to talk or debate about my viewpoints. However, if it's just your own personal beliefs, who cares? And that's just one of those fine line details. Kind of like with that guy that spouted nonsense on my Twitter yesterday. And it's like, I found the post funny, and it kind of it lined up with my viewpoint. But he wanted to come on and try to share his viewpoint with me and trying to hammer that down my throat. Would it be he's a true believer, troll or not? I don't have to listen to that if I don't want to. Now, if I was trying to go out and make a statement, oh, these group of people are useless people, then yeah, everyone has every right to come at me and say, no, you're wrong for this, 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 and this. But I wasn't trying to do that. So it kind of depends on the situation.
Well,
And
the problem is she is someone who is very well known, and she is promoting the silence of ideological opponents. Not just not a specific opponent, just all of them.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. If you're trying to share your ideologies with people and you're trying to share a viewpoint, trying to get people to change their minds, then you need to be open and you need to have some sort of formal discourse. Now, if she was just, if this was her own personal belief and this is what she believed in, then try to fucking push on anyone else, let her do what she wants. I don't care.
How's it going, Ren?
Hey, we got Ren in the chat. Anyways, I found that article. It's in the
yes, I
COD.
I brought it up. I will stop trying to Brew on a woo. Give me just a second here. All right. Apparently it's going good for Rin. She has coffee.
Well, that's the main purpose of this show, is caffeinate or die.
That's very true. All right, so Caesar Sayok, mail bombing suspect, found an identity in political rage and resentment. Actually, that's a very good segue into what we were just talking, Sparky. It's basically, look, there's this divide between the two sides that used to be a lot smaller than it is now. Unfortunately, because of things that like social media and things like articles like this from the New York Times, that divide gets wider and wider and wider because now it's just the blame game. Now, if he is a crazy political raging asshole, well, he deserves to be put in jail. So
exactly.
All right, let's see here. Aventura, Florida. Caesar Sayok Jr. was a volatile nobody, desperate to become a somebody.
Became a somebody, but I don't think in a way it was actually planning on.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think if he was a nobody, he was probably a somebody to somebody. He styled himself as a bodybuilder, entrepreneur, member of the Seminole tribe, an exotic dance promoter in the status-hungry beachfront world of South Florida. He was a yes, and here's the Florida man story. I do want to point out that Onvir said something correct. People don't want to reasonably converse anymore. They just want to be enraged. Rage is more fun than reason. It's very true, unfortunately. And instead of talking, they would rather just be snarky, or they would rather just try and be quippy, because social media has made it a point to make people think that they can become famous just off of Twitter. Twitter and Facebook have become nothing but giant fucking popularity contests. And I'm not trying to be hypocritical when I say that I am part, because I am part of Twitter, and I do espouse my opinion on Twitter. I do enjoy when I get new followers and things like that. But I'm not necessarily going to try and make my life better because of Twitter. But that's what it is. There's no. And another thing, Having a conversation on Twitter is probably one of the worst possible things you could ever do.
My life would be better if I just deleted Twitter, but it's just so interesting and fun to look at all the shit.
Oh, and then Ren says she sent me an article that's related to this. Well, let's talk about this.
Cool.
We'll go from there. So he's a stripper promoter. That's all right. In reality, Mr. Sayok, a fervent supporter of President Trump, who has been charged with mailing pipe bombs to prominent Democrats, was a bankrupt loner who spewed anger and spent years living in and out of a van, according to court documents and interviews with people who knew him.
I am already upset with this article.
Why?
Because right off the bat, instead of giving you any kind of facts, they give you a slant.
Well, yeah.
So styled himself as if all these things, and then in reality, Mr. Sayok, a fervent supporter of President Trump. No, stop. That automatically tells me you don't really have a whole lot in the way of facts, which has a whole lot of fucking conjecture, that you're going to do your very best to pin to the Trump administration somehow, despite it being the actions of one man who is clearly deranged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of fucking objective articles about it.
This is why I don't read the news much anymore, because it's consistently less and less of the actual news and more of some writer's particular political bent.
Yes. That's kind of what I was saying. Now it's all about getting the attention. It's so who can get the most clicks. He went on racist, anti-gay tirades at the Fort Lauderdale pizza shop where he worked as a night shift delivery man in 2017, telling his manager, a lesbian, that she and other gay people, along with Democrats, should all be put onto an island and then nuked. At a reunion event in 2015 with his college soccer team, he browbeat former team members with racist, sexist conspiracy theories. And when Mr. Sayok's mother and sister urged him to seek mental health treatment, he furiously repelled their efforts and told his mother he hated her. And Ronald Lau, a lawyer for the family who also represented Mr. Sayok in a 2002 case in which he threatened to bomb an electric company during a dispute over a bill, he refused to even listen when his mother reminded Mr. Sayok that he was a Filipino and Italian, not Seminole, Mr. Lau said. See, you're not even Indian. You're Filipino and Italian. That's, oh, God. So he can't use that victim card. So, I mean, I don't think he would.
And if he went the Elizabeth Warren path, oh boy.
He had tremendous anger slowly boiling up. Apparently, it wasn't slowly boiling if this was coming out in every other place that he was at. And resentment, and felt less than, Mr. Lau said. He lacked an identity. He created a persona. When they first met, Mr. Lau said, Mr. Sayok brought in a scrapbook filled with notes and photographs he had collected from wrestlers, bodybuilders, and strippers, table scraps from a world that he idolized.
I wonder if Tonka's in that.
Oof. Ouch. He comes across like a 15-year-old, Mr. Lau said. He has a total lack of maturity. So, every other SJW that's out there? Mr. Lau said that Mr. Sayok's family members were Democrats and that Mr. Sayok seemed to have no outspoken partisan views during the 2002 case, but he said that Mr. Trump's angry rhetoric and his appeals to the forgotten man and woman during the 2016 campaign seemed to strike a deep chord with Mr. Sayok, whose father had abandoned the family when he was a child.
I'm trying to figure out what angry rhetoric Trump was saying.
Everything he says is angry rhetoric. He was looking for some type of parental figure, and being a loner, being an outcast, being the kind of person Trump speaks to. I think he was attracted to Trump as a father figure. I don't like this lawyer. So it goes back to that slant that Antihero was talking about.
Yeah.
There's one person who's talking about it, and
this is their point of view.
Yeah, Trump speaks to loners, outcasts, and people who are looking for parental figures. The ones, the American people that have been forgotten. maybe other politicians should do the same, and we won't have Trump being the only one blamed for things like this.
Well, everyone can be outspoken about Trump. Everyone can fucking argue, oh, well, if it wasn't for these few key states, he wouldn't have won it or been Hillary. That's fine. People can be outspoken about that. But when you actually look at the demographic map of the United States, and it was the entire United States that voted for Trump, except for a few key places, it speaks a lot.
Then we get down to the electoral college and who actually voted for whom, and
Yeah.
the millions of votes more of popular vote that Hillary Clinton got more than Trump, blah blah blah.
Yeah, well,
The fact is that we're going to have 4 more years of Trump if they keep this shit up.
Oh yeah.
All right, how much more of this is there? Oh, good God, there is a lot. All right, we're not going to talk about this stuff.
Well, that's fine. I just figured we could talk a little bit about it. I don't know who all I know he sent to Hillary. I know he a couple other different people, all that good stuff. I don't know. I don't remember if he sent it to Elizabeth Warren or not. But that I am so happy. I'm so glad I can call myself a Cherokee Indian right now. Because the Cherokee Nation actually came out and made a statement against Elizabeth Warren, stating, "You are not a tribal citizen. We want an apology."
No. We got $2 from Slayer Raven, shekels for Antoine, I think like $1.33. Thank you very much, Slayer Raven. Thank you for the shekels.
Shekels for everyone, except for me and a hero.
You got.
It's funny how everyone just includes Antoine. Like that's the everyone here, you know.
I didn't say shekels for everyone. Sparky said shekels for everyone. All right, so this is the article that Ren sent. That says there's nothing virtuous about finding common ground. I adamantly disagree with this. Let's see. It says Tayari Jones is the author of the novels An American Marriage, Silver Sparrow, and The Untelling, and a professor at Emory University. Of course, she's a professor. The first time I found myself facing a political dilemma was in the year 1976. I was 5 years old. Seriously? My parents were what we used to call movement people, veterans of the civil rights movement, who leaned towards black nationalism and Pan-Africanism. My name, Tayari, was brought back from a family friend's research trip to Kenya. Tayari means ready in Kiswahili, an East African lingua franca. My older brother, Patrice Lumumba, wow, these names suck, was named after the African nationalist and first Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Oh, yes, the Congo, one of the worst places to live as a female ever. Who was assassinated in 1961. My folks were not coy about raising us with an agenda. Oh, shit. In 1976, I was very concerned with South African apartheid. Tacked to the wall in our wood-paneled basement was a poster depicting a woman who carried a baby on her back and a rifle strapped across her chest. The caption announced, "She fights on the side of African freedom. Gulf finances the other." Boycott Gulf. I was intrigued with this mother and moved by her efforts to protect her child. Then, in June of that year, Soweto happened. An estimated 20,000 black South African students staged a demonstration, and they were gunned down by the police. Reports said the number of killed was somewhere in the neighborhood of 23, but my father and his friends insisted that the number had to be many times that. In my understanding of the world then, I put the blame squarely on Gulf gas. Wait a second. So the actual report is that 23 were killed out of 20,000. So that is less than 1%.
Yeah.
But because her father and his friends insisted that the number was so much higher, it had to be that. This is why it is bad, so very bad, to raise children with an agenda.
I was going to say, wouldn't the smart thing would be to do a body count?
The problem is she believed it wholesale because her father and his friends believed it. And
Listen
and believe. Later that summer, and remember, she was 5. Later that summer, I received an invitation to go to the zoo from a little girl I liked very much. To get ready for the outing, I put on my zoo clothes, a terry romper and sandals. The other child's mother picked me up and buckled us into the back seat. I was vibrating with excitement. The Atlanta Zoo was home to the giant gorilla, Willie B., who was a local celebrity. I was chattering away and wondering if I would be allowed to pet him. Then my friend's mother pulled into a gas station. I looked up and saw the Gulf Gas logo. At first, I assumed that she didn't know about the apartheid. And then she had never seen the famous photo of little Hector Peterson shot dead and carried by an 18-year-old boy. So I explained the situation. I explained that Gulf Gas supported apartheid. They killed children, I added. My friend's mother was not moved. Gulf Gas is around 60 cents a gallon, she said, screwing off the gas cap. I would love to pay gas for 60 cents a gallon right now.
No, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yes. As she pumped the gas, I watched the numbers on the dial spin and imagined army tanks and soldiers plowing into the crowd of kids. There was only one response. I got out of the car, refusing to ride in a vehicle fueled by Gulf Gas. I crossed my arms over my chest and cried. I felt frustrated that she wasn't swayed by my reasoning, and I knew that some adults didn't really listen to kids. But more than that, I was sorry that I wasn't doing anything to save the children of South Africa. You self-indulgent, pretentious prick. And that's coming from me.
Ren really knows how to pick the ones that get your blood boiling.
This 5-year-old is going to try and preach to the adults, and then she throws a temper tantrum and holds her breath until she gets her way. And now she's a professor teaching this god-awful bullshit to children. Do not raise your kids with an agenda. It's bad.
Yep. Good job, Bryn.
I recall this experience now. Of course you do, because you're writing for the New York. What is this? The New York Times or something? Amp Time. What the fuck website is this? Time Magazine. Of course, you were for fucking Time Magazine. This is when you recall it just now. Over 40 years later, as we are in a political moment where we find ourselves on opposite sides of what feels like an unbreachable gulf, I find myself annoyed by the hand-wringing about how we need to find common ground. People ask how might we meet in the middle, as though this represents a safe, neutral, and civilized space. This American fetishization of the moral middle is as misguided and dangerous cultural impulse. No, it's not. The reason why people want to fucking talk is because something can then happen. You fucking self-indulgent bastard. Your parents raised you wrong. Your parents taught you wrong, and that's why you are the way you are. This is nature over nurture. And in this case, nurture fucked you up.
I think the issue here is the fundamental disconnect between people who feel that discourse is possible, workable, and that a compromise is the best option, and people who feel that if you don't agree with their rhetoric, with their ideology, then you are inherently wrong.
Yes, I agree.
Well, I mean, she's correct, or he. I didn't recall if this was a he or a she.
It's a she.
They're correct. There is no reasoning. And that's the problem that you face today. So if you get on Twitter, if you get on any sort of social media site at this point, and you get into an argument with somebody, even if you say, look, you know what, I'm just going to agree to disagree with you. I don't think we're going to get anywhere here. And you try to walk away. What happens?
They chase after you.
Exactly. They come after you. They keep talking. They always want the last word. If you say, even if you apologize, it doesn't matter. You're going to continue to be harassed. You're going to continue to be attacked because there can be no common ground. There can't even be an agreement to disagree because someone has to be wrong. Someone has to be right by their standard, by their ideological, by their ideological need. One of you has to be wrong, and it cannot be them because they are convinced of their own rightness.
Sounds like a certain person we were just talking about from Twitter.
Well, of course it does. That's why I keep asking you, Sparky. Is that a true believer or is that a troll?
I don't even care at this point. He's been blocked, so
blocking is always a ridiculous thing. But
well, I mean, if we
can get to the point, the point is that as far as her viewpoint is concerned, she's totally right. There is no point in trying to talk things out with her.
Yes, because she thinks that anyone who disagrees with her is wrong.
Yeah. She's half right.
I know I'm just repeating what you said. I understand that.
No. She's half right. She's half right. She's half right. The problem is that she wants to do that for everything and wants everyone to do that. And it's like, that's not right. If she wants to do it, that's fine.
Well, that's the thing. It's not fine. I am one of those people that believes being able to talk to someone, being able to have a civil discourse, is the best way to figure things out. If I don't agree with someone, I want to know. I want to know why they think the way that they do, and then maybe there's some common ground I can find with them. Not to become besties, not to become friends, but to understand where they're coming from and have a respect for them in that instance. If I can't, that bothers me. And I feel like the conversation is then wasted.
You're correct in that one. And there are a lot of times where civil discourse can help. There also are a lot of times where you just gotta go, we're not gonna agree on anything, this conversation's pointless.
Well, here's my example, and this is anecdotal, so take that for what it is. This is anecdotal. Penoid and I apparently had a beef that I didn't know about. Well, so I made a video. Guess what happened? He made a response. I joined his Discord to share the video with him. I called him out because I didn't agree with the repeal of the 19th that he believes in. Penoid had been told by a bunch of people who don't like me all about me and how I'm a horrible person and everything like that. He messaged me on Discord privately and we talked. Found out where he was coming from. He found out where I was coming from. He brought me onto one of his streams. And we had a conversation. It wasn't a debate. It was a conversation where I agreed with some of his points. He agreed with some of my points. We don't agree on the topic specifically, but I walked away from that conversation thinking that it was a good conversation, knowing that I could talk to someone who disagreed with me ideologically and still be able to have a common ground with them and have a respect for them, and them to have a respect for me. If more people fucking did things like that, Twitter would fucking implode, Facebook would destroy itself, and the political divide that we have going on right now between progressives and conservatives would get a lot smaller.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that one. But if you look at the reality of it, it's not going to happen. If everyone can come together, talk the problems out, hash it out, figure out everyone's differences, and agree to, okay, you got your own way of doing things, you got your own viewpoint, that's cool. Okay, I understand that. Here's where I do stuff. Come together, walk it out, and everything's all good. Yes, it would be a better place. But in today's day and age, it's, you don't share the same ideas as I do. You're wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm going to make sure that I'm right.
But even then, it's not. It's what Auntie said. Even if you say, you know what, we're going to agree to disagree, and you can have the last word. We're done with this. they come after you. They have to come after you. And then they get their followers after you. And then they decide, well, you know what? Because you don't agree with me, you don't deserve to work anymore. So we're going to find where your job is. We're going to tell them what a horrible person you are. We're going to get you fired. And since you can't work because you lost your job, you can't pay your bills, you don't deserve to live anymore. So we're going to make sure that you fucking can't survive.
Yeah, and that's a form of extremism, and I don't agree with that one little bit. And I agree with you on that one, Antoine.
I don't like that. I don't like this bullshit. That's one of the reasons I talk about certain things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
The more you make fun of it, the more you can make people laugh at it, the more they hopefully will stop doing it.
Yeah.
If you make it a joke, things stop. Because if it's a joke, you just eventually put 2 in the back of its head and it dies.
That was a good one.
Onvia says, people are this angry because of how long we lived under the establishment of politics. They wanted to get angry and revel, and this is what it looks like, social anarchy. This will end when something so horrible happens to America as a result of this culture that it forces the culture to reset. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. I don't want that something horrible to force it to reset.
I am less worried about a horrible thing causing a cultural reset as I am about who is in control after said cultural reset.
That also leads into why I'm worried about that, because if you destroy a power, it leaves a power vacuum. Someone is going to fill it. And if that someone happens to be, let's say, Anita Sarkeesian, well, things are going to go bad.
I think you're missing a much greater problem there, Antoine. I think your focus and I think your scope is just a bit too narrow. You're focused a little too heavily on the left. I would be just as worried if some of the far right got into power as well. I think
Richard Spencer jumped in, I would be pissed.
I'm not even talking about Richard Spencer. I would be just as worried if Donald Trump took full and complete control. I think at this point, politically speaking, we are so polarized party-wise that to the point where being quote unquote a centrist is considered to be, demonized by both groups now. If you're a centrist, you're belittled. Say what?
It's because they want you to pick a side.
I track with that, but there's a point I'm making here. All right, we are so polarized at this point that it does not matter which side would take power after a cultural reset event. Either side taking power results in some incredible problems because both sides again are so polarized and both sides use the same fucking tactics now that you would see immediately a huge amount of oppression being dealt out. And I mean actual oppression this time around, not some inherent misogyny or implicit bias. I mean actual oppression. We're talking actual imprisonment, actual silencing of opposing voices. Because that would be the only way in which to maintain power. Remember, after any anarchy, the thing that rises out of anarchy is military dictatorship. At the very least, heavy martial law. So whether it was the right or the left who took power, you would see people die. And I would be just as worried if it were the right as it were the left, even though I more align myself with the right than I do the left. I think saying, I would worry more about Anita Sarkeesian's kind of person, I think that's incredibly short-sighted.
It was just an example, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Checks and balances. That's why there's checks and balances in place.
Yeah, but even with checks and balances, it doesn't really help. We have checks and balances, and look what we have.
Well, hold up. Sparky, you're missing a very important point. A cultural reset following an anarchic situation.
Yeah, I
What
know.
checks and balances?
I know what you're talking about.
You have a government that's going to have to rise out of either very real or cultural ashes, and it's going to be immediately given. Yes?
I'm not talking about then. I'm talking about now. That's the reason why we have checks and balances.
You're right, but we're talking about then. So the rules of now no longer they no longer apply. They no longer have an effect because we're talking about a future possibility where by necessity, those checks and balances will be thrown out the window just to keep any semblance of unity in a country. for the nerds out there, it would be very much like giving Chancellor Palpatine emergency powers. We'd have to give whoever was in charge a level of authority heretofore unseen by a president. Because that would be the only way they'd be able to keep a country in check. Frankly, in an anarchic situation, the reason military dictatorship and martial law arise from is because that is the only way in which you can return sanity to a country, is through the use of martial prowess. So what checks and balances? There would be none. And let's be honest, it is a very rare person indeed who can give up power after they've had it.
Yeah. Hashtag Order 66.
As they say, power corrupts, and absolute power is, kind of neat. So you'd only see dictatorship followed by dictatorship followed by dictatorship, and it would only be by a group of people who genuinely had best interest of the people at large at heart, which I don't know if you can really find in today's day and age, who will be able to fix it.
No, because everyone wants to be the new fucking hero on Facebook or Twitter.
I got it. Lelouch v. Britannia.
You want what?
And now you guys have probably seen Code Geass. Never mind.
No.
No, we don't watch shitty anime.
Ouch.
Fuck you too.
No, thank you. I'm not your type. You're more of a, tall, dark, and fangsome kind of guy.
So you
Okay.
are his type. You are a vampire.
No, I was more talking about you there, Antoine. Tall, dark, mouthful of fangs.
I don't have fangs. I have shark teeth.
The same thing. Emphasis on mouthful.
Wow.
Well, this episode has been all over the place, hasn't it?
As every good episode should be.
I was gonna say, what's the difference between this episode and every other episode?
We had less articles this time.
But we had more on-air time.
Yeah.
Either way, it balanced itself out.
Oh, see, there you go. Checks and balances, Sparky. All right. Do you guys have anything else final you would like to say?
I mean, if are we shilling now? Is that what's happening here?
Yes. Go for
Is
it.
that a yes?
Yes, go for it.
All right. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and throw her stuff in the chat. Please go check out Sam. She is an excellent artist. It'll be worth your time, especially if you like cute, edgy kind of stuff. She also is, again, fantastic at photorealism. Go ahead and give her a shot. Like I said, I'm putting her stuff in the chat right now. You can find her at her Twitter is right here. It's at Cute Calamities. And as soon as my computer will cooperate, there we go. It should be in the chat. She also has an Etsy shop, which you can find as soon as my computer cooperates, right here at Cutesy Calamities. Feel free to go give her a chat. Again, her commissions are wide open right now. Go ahead and have a talk with her. See what you can come up with. She does great avatar work, and again, awesome photorealism. Talk with her and see what you can get a hold of.
And as far as me, I like 4 followers from having the same number as Antoine. Go follow me on Twitter if you haven't. And yeah, go watch my channel, Sparky Set Corner.
So you only have one again?
I haven't done anything with the other ones. I'm saying screw it. I've got my streaming privileges back on my channel. It's staying on that one.
All right. All right. And my name, of course, is Antoine the Great. This has been Caffeinated or Die. Thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I've been joined by my normal co-host, Sparky, from apparently only Sparky's Tech Corner now, so I don't have to list off the 1,000 other channels he has. And Anti-Hero Broadcast. Go follow Cute Calamities on Twitter. Go pay for stuff in her Etsy shop. And go subscribe to Anti-Hero so he does more things on his channel. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And remember, caffeinate or die. Have a good night, everyone.